How's she going right there, eh? It's Denis here from Denis Logier Outdoors. Just out here seeing how the chickens are doing. I think it's -9 today, -9, -10, so actually warming up a little bit. Bringing them some kitchen scraps. We got a little bit of snow last night. They seem to be doing okay. Giving some stuff here. Yeah, so I get family members, or our own household, all our household kitchen scraps, a bunch of stuff there. We give it to them, try to ration it to them, give them every day, gives them something to play with, something to pick at. See, their water's starting to freeze up a little bit. I'm off today. I work shift work, so I'm off now for a few days, so I usually come and check on them a couple times a day. When I'm home, they get a little neglected when I'm working shift work. But, they seem to be doing okay. A little healthy looking, I guess. Like I said before, I've never raised chickens before, so I got a lot of roosters. They don't seem to be bothering each other all that much yet. There's that naked neck. He seems to be doing okay for this climate. The lady I got him from, or all the chickens from, they seem to do okay here in our climate. I got a few naked necks. I got a female. I got actually a couple of roosters. I think a couple of female ones. If I can, he's probably one of the roosters I like to try to keep. I think he's kind of cool. There's the other rooster right there. But like I said, my plan is I'm just going to leave them alone for a bit and see how they make out. And if I have to, well, eventually I'm going to start calling the roosters. Like I said, we're not allowed to have too many roosters here. We're not allowed to have any, but if my neighbors start complaining, then I'll get rid of them. So the plan is like I said, I'm just kind of learning here, kind of trying through experience, I guess, and watching YouTube. But like I said, they seem to be doing okay. I'm still not getting any eggs yet. I'm hoping in the next couple of days, it's supposed to warm up here in a few days, but if it warms up, that means it's going to rain or snow. I want to add another 3 feet to this coop, and I'm going to put some netting around. I don't seem to have too much of a problem lately with them getting out. Usually what happens is they end up jumping up on this roof, and maybe now that there's no snow on it, they're not. And then they end up getting screwed up and jump over the fence, and then I got to pick them up each evening and put them back in. Yeah, I'm going to try to walk around here. I got my gloves on. Actually, I just took a big wipe out there and did the splits. So that kind of sucks. See the lake underneath there. Obviously, it's all sheltered, all the back and the sides, and put a little roost there for them. I was going to put another roost farther back. I may do that later. Reason why I haven't yet is the underside of that coop is got styrofoam insulation, and I had to protect it on this back end. When they're on the roost, they end up picking at it, and little pieces of it fall down, and they're eating it. I don't know if it will bother them or not, but anyhow, that's what they're doing with it. So maybe when it dries up or warms up, I may get underneath there and cover that styrofoam so that they don't get at it. And then I'll put another roost set in a little farther back, kind of give them more space. Either that, or I got to try to either extend a roof out this way a little bit and put a roost underneath the nesting boxes, but then it may give me a hard time to get to the door. I'm not sure yet. This is all kind of like a temporary type setup. Like I mentioned before, eventually I want to put a greenhouse right there where that silver chicken tractor is, and have it mounted right. Of course, just had a big gust of wind there. I don't know if you heard that or not, but plan on having a greenhouse and have it incorporated right into that bank, and then have an opening so that I can let the chickens out in the winter, and this whole area be all fenced in, and they can go inside the greenhouse in the winter, and so I can have a lot of compost to get some heat. Trying to get out of the wind. That way there I can have some compost going to generate heat and to get the chicken something to do during the day in the winter. My plan is also in the winter, that's where I'll have my rabbits housed, and I'll have new cages for them, the wire cages, and have them up above the chickens. The chickens will be underneath, and every evening I will put the chickens back in the roost so they can roost in here. So that's the plan. I was hoping to get some of that done this year, but I didn't have a chance, obviously. Not sure how well that would work, especially here in our climate. For some reason the composting in here, that's my compost right now. So obviously my pile's not big enough, or I don't have enough carbon in there. I've been putting wood chips in and try to mix it, but I think once we get to this temperature, that's something really. Yeah, like I said, the composting doesn't seem to be working here because of the temperature. So I'm hoping that having a greenhouse may help heat that up, and so next year I may be able to do that. That's the plan. Yeah, greenhouse over here. I'm going to rig up a little run up to the fenced-in garden, so that in the winter or fall, once planting season's over, I can run the chickens in through the garden and have them pick all through that. Okay, I'm gonna head over, see how the rabbits are doing. This is my back to Eden garden. I have a garden outside of the fence right here. I just top dressed it this fall with wood chips. I had stuff that the deer wouldn't go after. That's why I got a 10-foot fence around my vegetable garden. I had potatoes planted here, zucchini, squash, pumpkins. Usually at the very back, that's where I plant the pumpkins and the climbing stuff, squash, and then I let it grow over the bank instead of growing out here on the lawn. So this year I also dumped a whole bunch of wood chips right here in one pile, because this spring I didn't get a chance this fall. There's the wind again. Didn't get a chance this fall to put the wood chips in this vegetable garden. This fall I'm going to pull the fence all down and change it a little bit, and incorporate a run so that in the fall, like I said, I can let the chickens up in through once the growing season's over. Just over there where that barrel is, put another pile of wood chips. I'm going to plant some raspberries and some other type stuff this spring, hopefully. Like I said, that pile of wood chips there, and on the other side I got another pile of wood chips. This was another vegetable garden that the deer didn't seem to bother too much. I had more potatoes on this end and zucchini and all that kind of stuff. More wood chips here so that in the spring, once this fence is down, I can either bring the tractor. I did all this time of the year because my lawn gets so wet, so I don't like it all tore up in the spring. So I get the wood chips and do all that kind of work in the winter time when everything's frozen, solid. So I'll throw all the wood chips over there onto that vegetable garden. Like I said, I'm going to pull this fence off. This is deer fencing, which is plastic. It's actually lasted probably 8-9 years anyhow. So my plan is I'm going to rip all that out, put better posts in, and I'm going to put 4-foot fencing all the way around the bottom, and then this stuff I'll cut it in half and I'll put that on top of it. This summer I had issues with groundhogs getting in. They just chew into this plastic because now it's so weak, and they would just get in there and do their thing. They actually would just run right through it. My backyard's a bit of a mess. This is my log lifter I used to use on the back of the four-wheeler. This is my old Oliver crawler with my buzzsaw, and that's my mill right there. So I actually mill my logs right there. Works out pretty good. I got a big stack of logs. I usually back up with the dump trailer, offload the logs, roll them down onto the mill, and then throw the slab wood back here, and then I end up cutting it with this buzzsaw. We had a huge pile. I redid my deck last year, so it was all cedar. So we cut it all up into stove length, and I had my youngest son. We made up a jig, and he tied it up, and we sold it as campfire wood. And whatever we didn't sell, we end up using for kindling. That's what we have left for kindling that we didn't sell, and my plan is I gotta start bringing in firewood this winter for next year, and I'll start piling it right here. Old wood splitter. I think I have 3 splitters, and all last winter I split probably 5 cord of wood, and I did it all by hand. This is the female that I suspect is pregnant right now. She's actually quite friendly. Now she is. She wasn't when I first got her. Yeah, she seems to. There's that nesting box I just made the other day with a square 5-gallon bucket. She seems to be liking it. We'll see here soon enough. I've been mixing, like I mentioned, the pellets with the oats. They seem to really like the oats, and they kind of pick through it and leave the pellets. And I've been getting grass for them. And like I said, I'm going to try to separate this, split this hutch in half. I may leave this one for now because if she has babies, that'll give them a lot of room. But it's still a pretty good size. It's got to be probably, I don't know, 3 feet by 4 feet or something. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. It's all weather pending. I don't plan on wanting to do this in minus 20. Anyhow. Well, there's the crows again. Like I said, once they see me, they think there's going to be a gut pile or something. They get all excited. Anyhow, that's what's going on today. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.